Hi there, it's Vicki McCarthy from Aussie Stampers, and I've been putting together some welcome gifts for my new team members with some cards and some covered notebooks and jotter pads. So I thought I'd show you how I put this particular jotter notebook together. I found a nice thick jotter because I think if you're going to cover a jotter, you may as well make it a thick jotter that you can get a lot of use from. And I'm going to take some designer series paper and cut that in half. Now I measured the width of the jotter and I was pleased to realise I could get 2 jotters out of one sheet of each paper. So I need a sheet of pistachio pudding for the back, and I'm using Gingham Garden designer series paper for the front. Now I'm taking my bone folder and forming some score lines here. And use your hands first and then burnish with your folder and make sure it's all sitting nice and square. And then I'm going to bring in some edgelets. You could use either the adorning accents or the finishing touches. I'm using the large scallop. And I've cut a piece off the edge. Now burnishing it with my bone folder. And this is going to be the back cover. Just checking that it all fits, and it does. And I'm going to use some sticky strip on all 4 sides to adhere this. I love making these notebooks for my new team members, and I usually hand out some of my cards as well so that they have some ideas to get started when they're making cards for their own customers or perhaps just for themselves if they're hobby demonstrators. It's really great when somebody new joins my team. I think it's fantastic being able to welcome somebody into Team Aussie Stampers. I'm always looking for people to join, and it's great when somebody does actually say to me, yes, I'm going to join your team, Vicki. It's always great news. Now, on this backing piece, you're going to just peel off your sticky strip. Just peel off the cover. And then this is going to give your jotter a real stability that it doesn't have. It just has this very thin cardstock usually on the back, and I'm using the Coordinations cardstock in pistachio pudding, so it's very thick. It's going to make this a very sturdy jotter type notebook. Now this part, just be careful that you get it really lined up before you commit to sticking that down, because you can't really move it around. But you can see how nice that looks once it's stuck down. And the front cover is going to go on like that. It's not going to actually attach to the top of the jotter because you want to be able to rip pages off. So I'm going to use some sticky strip on that second score line there. And then again at the front so that this front cover will hold nice and firmly. Now just take off the cover for your sticky strip there. You can see how that's going to fit in. And I like to use a paper piercer to take the top of the sticky strip off. It seems to be the quickest method. Stampin' Up! Have a special $85 joining offer in Australia at the moment. You could join with the usual joining offer of $169, which gives you a lot of materials, but a lot of people are enjoying the fact that they only need to commit to spending $85 to join and receive all the hostess benefits and the demonstrator benefits as well. Okay, now you can see how I've tucked that piece underneath because I want to make the front cover really sturdy, and I'm going to do the same that I did with the pistachio pudding piece and run that through the big shot and trim off an trim off an edgelet. You can see how much I've taken off there. And I'm just going to use some Tombow multi-adhesive and just glue that in place. So that's going to give an extra sturdy front cover as well. So the front and back covers on this are really strong. You could do this on any size jotter pad really. Just measure it up for what you'll need and use the same procedure. Bringing in some Daffodil Delight ribbon. And yes, I don't really like how I tied that faux knot. I think I could probably undo that later and do a better job. But it's kind of sitting vertical instead of horizontal. So I might go back and change that. Okay, we've got the Petite Petals punch and the Itty Bitty punch and some Island Indigo and Daffodil Delight cardstock. And I'm going to make some little flowers to sit right on top. just for decoration. And I'm using lots and lots and lots of glue dots here. The reason being, I didn't want to use glue because I thought it might show up on the ribbon. So just to make sure that these little flowers stay in place, I went a little bit overboard with the amount of glue dots that I put on, but I know it's going to really be hard wearing. I think I put about 4 glue dots on each little flower. Yep, those little flowers are not going anywhere. Love the colours in this gingham garden paper. It's really bright and cheerful. Really pretty. It's retiring, this paper, so if you don't have it, you might want to grab it before it goes. I'm just going to trim off those edges. And now I'm going to show you how it opens and have a look at the inside. You see how prettily that finishes the inside as well. Next, I have some Daffodil Delight cardstock and the Loving Thoughts stamp set. I'm going to choose a couple of inspirational words in there because I think it's very inspiring when somebody becomes a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. They have the chance to inspire and dream and create. So they're the words that I've chosen. Using Island Indigo ink on Daffodil Delight cardstock, and I'm just going to line it up so it's nice and straight. And stamp on each of those sentiments from the Loving Thoughts stamp set. Dream, create, inspire. I'm just going to trim that down into a strip. And it's the same width as the Designer Series paper. And now I'm going to put that on with some sticky strip. Again, using sticky strip so that it's a really sturdy cover. You can take lots of wear. You could use Tombow multi-adhesive too if you wanted here. Lining it up about 3/4 of the way down, and I really like the way that looks. So there's a covered jotter or a covered writing pad, as we say in Australia. Sometimes we call that a writing pad. And some of the other things that I've put together or in the process of putting together to send out to my new team members. I hope to hear from you soon. Have a fantastic day. Bye.